roots now. You see people playing out from the
and
back.
it's one of his assistants who has won the Premier League title this season. There is a real changing of the guard and real joy at the Arsenal training ground where the players gathered to watch the game together.
Oh, wow.
And this was the scene at the end. These are really special moments, Michael. When you're together with your teammates, you've put all that work in. You have ground out some of those results. You've pushed yourself to the absolute limits. You've been accused over previous seasons of bottling it.
Correct.
And then you get this moment.
Yeah, for Arsenal, it's absolutely outstanding. And, you know, when they played Man City and lost, and everyone was talking about the bottle. And remember, we was on the show, and I said they've not bottled it, they've just opened up the door. And this time, they didn't even have to go to the final game of the season and win. Man City opened the door then for Arsenal. But for all that they've been through, I told you the story about when we was up against Manchester United at the time, Sir Alex Ferguson's great teams, and that belief, and can you get it over the line? They've got over the line, and they deserve 38 games in the Premier League. You deserve to win it. Yes, the football's not been pretty at times, we all know that. But to do that consistently over a season, you've got to take your hats off them. And especially when you're up against Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest of his generation as well. So, congratulations.
And they flipped the pressure back onto Manchester City. So they've shown they've got unbelievable character. And I think to even level that, they've been bottlers. They haven't been. They were just against one of the most incredible teams in Manchester City that were just relentless. They just stretched them and they made them become better. And they've had to find a way. They've had to maybe get those marginal games that you need to do, set pieces, goalkeeper, everything that he's done, Mikel Arteta, to find a way to turn his team into title winners. And you have to credit the Cronkies as well, because they could have maybe just gone under the pressure at times of maybe feeling like it wasn't the right thing. Is he going to be the winner? He's proved tonight that Mikel Arteta is a winner.
Talk to me a little.
Anguished discussions, but look at the scenes at the Emirates, because they know now that they have finally done it. Not the invincibles of 2002, but the endurables of 2026, because they've ridden through some setbacks, including a defeat by Bournemouth. But it is a goal by a Bournemouth player, Junior Krupi, that ensures that without even playing tonight, Arsenal are Premier League champions. And as a former Arsenal player, Alan, what do you make of it?
Well, absolutely delighted. Huge congratulations to Mikel Arteta and his players and the football club in general. It's been a long, long wait. Deserving champions. Manchester City did not have enough tonight, or as it turns out, during the season as a whole. But, well, Bournemouth, monumental performance to deny Pep Guardiola. But for Arsenal, well, brilliant season. Well done, and all eyes now for them on the Champions League final. Might it be a double?
Well, and let's not forget as well that Bournemouth are in European football next season, in the Europa League at least, possibly even the Champions League. What a send-off for that man, Andoni Iraola, in his last home game in charge, because they've really put the pressure on Liverpool now, and it promises to be a very nervous Anfield at the weekend, with Bournemouth, who play Nottingham Forest, just a point behind them. But despite getting a draw here, with Haaland getting that late equaliser to Krupi's goal, it is not enough for Manchester City, who miss out. And after 3 years as runners-up, Arsenal have taken the final step and become champions. We wait to find out if Pep Guardiola will give another Premier League campaign a go, but this one has got away from him, and it's congratulations to Arsenal.
So many stories to unpack here, the main one of which is that after 22 years and a couple of near misses, Arsenal are the Premier League champions. It looked as though that season may have turned when Manchester City were able to get the victory over them. Pep Guardiola's side had it in their hands, but they weren't able to capitalise, and this could be Pep Guardiola heading into his final game as Manchester City boss against Villa on the final day of the season. But that is when Arsenal will be heading away from the Emirates, where these pictures are coming from, and heading to Crystal Palace, where they will be presented with the Premier League trophy. For so many seasons, Jamie, they've been accused of not having the bottle to get over that final hurdle. This time around, they've been beaten by Manchester City. They wobbled with a couple of results around then, but they've recovered, they've come back, and tonight, after 22 years, Arsenal have their 4th Premier League trophy.
Absolutely, Kelly. I mean, they've certainly showed they've got bottle. They've showed a lot of character, resilience. It hasn't always been pretty, but they've shown they're winners. They're champions, rightly so. Congratulations to Mikel, the team, the fans, the staff, all the people behind the scenes. They've been the best side this year. You know, they have been the best side, and it's been really tough for them for the last few years. Pep, their nemesis, every single year, every single time. He's just found a way to pip them. This year, they've found their way. And it's an amazing achievement. I'm pleased for the club, for Mikel, because, as I say, it's been hard. He's took a lot of criticism. Can he get his team over the line?
And this is his childhood friend, Andoni Iraola, whose team
listen, if he doesn't get a lovely crate of Rioja right now, I'll be amazed, Kelly. You know, it's a big thank you to his mate.
Which ensures that they will be playing European football for the first time in their history, and ensures that his boyhood friend is going to be a Premier League champion, a Premier League winning manager at the expense of Manchester City. Bournemouth have certainly played their part today. They've had a fantastically successful season. We will talk more about them, but Micah, it is all about the title. Manchester City today look like a team that were running on fumes at this stage of the season.
Yeah, they look deflated. I mean, going back to the fixtures, you look at Everton where they drew. To work so hard to beat Arsenal, it looked like it was in their, well, it was in their hands essentially, and for them to throw it away like they did. Yes, they've had a lot of games, obviously winning the League Cup, winning the FA Cup, but they just looked like they'd run out of steam today. They did okay. Didn't they? They looked flat. They did okay in the first half in terms of keeping the ball and all that sort of thing, but on transition, they just wasn't there. You know, congratulations to Arsenal, but for City, by their standards, you just expect a little bit more. We talked about the psychological battle with Man City. They've got players in that dressing room who can deal with it. And then when it was in their hands, they just couldn't get it over the line.
Of course, we're going to talk much more about Arsenal and their title-winning season. But just to reflect on the game that we've seen here and the performance from Manchester City, especially coming in the wake of Pep Guardiola, the strong reports last night that he will be leaving at the end of the season. They've won 2 trophies this season, but they didn't take this all the way.
It's a bad day.
Will that give it an extra sting?
It will do. In terms of their season as a whole, of course, winning FA Cup and League Cup, you look at the whole thing, actually, it's a good season, especially where they were and they got themselves back into the title race, and then to fall away like they have. Everton is always a tough game. And Bournemouth, we know it's going to be tough for them tonight, but we expected a little bit more, especially with the players that they have in this squad. But for them to just go out and feel a little bit deflated like the way they have. And then the Pep news. You asked before, was that going to give the players a lift or not? It didn't look like the players had a lift today. And it's just been a really sad day. For anyone connected with Man City Football Club, Pep's got a year left on his contract. You're thinking, can they take it to the last game of the season? And then you hear the news and you think, is it correct? Isn't it correct? And the fact that Man City have not come out and denied it, it's just a horrible day.
It's difficult, wasn't it? I totally agree with you there, Mike. I mean, it was never going to be easy because all you wanted to do was just keep Arsenal honest on the last day of the season, because you never know what could happen the last day. We've seen it so often in the Premier League history. But they weren't able to do it. And Mike is right. The weekend, the FA Cup on a Saturday and then a Tuesday, it just took up the steam out of them. I think a couple of things, Kovacic's playing midfield didn't quite work today. But I also want to give credit to Bournemouth. I thought they were magnificent today. They were magnificent.
Great result for Bournemouth. Important result for Bournemouth. They're deflating a difficult day for Manchester City. Arsenal fans, do you want to see the table? They are in gold. They have the letter C next to their name, and that 1-0 victory for Arsenal against Burnley, coupled with Manchester City dropping points here at the Vitality against Bournemouth, means that Arsenal, with a 4-point gap over their nearest rivals, are Premier League champions after 22 years. This is their 4th Premier League title. And Mikel Arteta has been building something. We've heard this throughout his time at Arsenal. There haven't been the trophy since that opening part season to back that up. But this season, not only are they Premier League champions, they have a Champions League final still to come. There is another game taking place this evening. It's a big game at the bottom of the table, but it's also relevant in terms of European qualification because Chelsea are leading Spurs by 1-0. It means that Chelsea are in 8th place as things stand, and it means that Tottenham have just got that narrow advantage over West Ham, and there will be all to play for on the final day of the season. Tonight, though, yes, Bournemouth have qualified for Europe, and yes, Manchester City have ended Pep Guardiola's time, we believe, with that draw to make sure they are not Premier League champions. But Arsenal are, and this is how they announced it on social media. The Arsenal, your premiers, and keep themselves in that relegation battle, but they've watched their own side win the Premier League. And Alan Smith, who won it twice with Arsenal, is with us here in the studio. Golden Boot winner, both of those seasons. What does it mean to watch Arsenal do this after 22 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time, hasn't it? In a way, it doesn't feel like it because the Arsene Wenger years still feel fairly close when they won it. But brilliant, fully deserved of it. Obviously, they've had the moments in the last few seasons where they've come second. But they've been, you deserve to win it if you finish top. Yeah. They've had the best defence. They haven't had the best attack. You'd probably say City have got the best attack. But as an overall unit, Mikel Arteta's done brilliantly well. And, yeah, really pleased for my old club.
Not quite the excitement of 89, but the players, the manager, they won't care a less, will they?
No, I mean, in 91, we won it with one game to go, and then we played Man United and then Coventry, actually. We had 2 games to go. So it's always nice. I was worried about that game at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So everyone said, they've got a European final 3 days after. I thought, no, you don't need to be getting something from there. So, pleased.
Yeah. It's such an interesting season for Arsenal. They start off, everybody's got high hopes. They hope that they're going to be able to build on some close finishes in the past. And they had this reputation, I think probably undeserved because they never really had it in their hands before now. But they had this reputation of maybe bottling it at the difficult moments. Having lost to Manchester City and with City having it in their hands, does this feel like something that Arsenal have overcome, an extra hurdle that they've managed to come back from?
Yeah, they have, haven't they? I mean, there's been some painful moments to watch at times. I mean, I was at the Bournemouth game, actually, just watching, not working, the Bournemouth game at the Emirates when Arsenal was so poor. And at that stage, you thought, oh, no, they're going to mess it up again, But, I mean, the Burnley game as well the other night, God, you're thinking... I mean, there's bound to be nerves after so many years. We had it, I mean, going back to 89, our last 2 home games, we lost to Derby at home, we drew with Wimbledon, last game of the season at home, and we've waved to the fans saying, oh, thanks, but we couldn't quite get over the line. Then we went up to Liverpool. But you're going to have nervy moments when you haven't won it for that long, and they have had them. But, hopefully now, moving forward, they can play with freedom, add to the squad. Champions League final coming up. Who knows now? That feels a bit easier now, doesn't it? Not easier against PSG.
It's been a more relaxed competition for Arsenal this season, strangely, because for many players it is the absolute pinnacle. But the pressure has been off in that.
Yeah, they've had some really good performances, haven't they? Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, really scored goals, opened up. And so that's going to be mouth-watering. But
it's a free hit, isn't it?
It's a free hit. But to do this, this season,
Did you believe that they could do it when they lost to Man City at the Etihad?
I always thought it would be close because it wasn't about performance, Michael, was it, at City? And they came out and they gave it a good shot. But they've got this great ability to keep a clean sheet and nick a goal. Bit of the old 1-0 to the Arsenal coming back, but he is a fine coach. Sometimes you want him to just be a bit more expansive, but it's a means to an end, it's done the trick.
On Arteta, there were maybe not questions being asked of him, but there certainly would have been if they hadn't got over the line this season. But he's been adamant, and the word from the club has been that he's been building. Each season has been an improvement on the one before, and that this was coming at some stage. Did you feel that? Did you feel that confidence, and did you see that progress under Arteta?
Yeah, I did. It was just whether they could hold the nerve when City are breathing down their necks, and whether they would, crumble and not perform. So they have been getting better. They added to the squad last summer. Gyökeres has scored his goals. He probably hasn't convinced fully as an Arsenal centre-forward, but he's notched some important ones. We've spoken about the depth of squad all season, and they have had injuries. They've been able to fill in for those. injuries, and that squad strength, I think, has really helped them and maybe got them over the line.
Obviously, they're going to want to celebrate this Premier League title. They've got the game coming up at the weekend. They'll be able to celebrate at Crystal Palace. I'm sure they'll have the opportunity to celebrate with their own fans as well. But as you said, there is potentially another piece of silverware for Arsenal. They could be winning the Champions League come the end of the season. If they do that, this would be an extraordinarily successful season. Ian Wright was saying that he feels that this could be one of the greatest Arsenal sides if they manage to win both those trophies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on performance and, trophies alone, Arsenal have never done it. Never won the European Cup / Champions League. So to win the league and that double would be unprecedented. It was interesting watching Monday Night Football and Patrick Vieira and Jamie talking about which players would go into the Invincibles. And there are a few that would go in, one or two defenders, the keeper. Obviously, Henry and Bergkamp aren't going to get replaced. But they're not as good as that team, I don't think, as a whole. But certainly in terms of being able to keep those clean sheets, they're in a great position now going forward. They really are. And you'd love to see them add some more quality in the forward positions. I think that's where they need to do it. They've got great cover in defence, maybe another midfielder, but they should have the money to do it as well. So all eyes on Arsenal now.
Yeah, and like you say, they don't need to be the greatest Arsenal team ever. They just need to be the best team in the Premier League over the course of 30, and that is why they're champions. Alan, thank you very much for coming on to talk to us.
Yeah, I've got
We just come and get a little cameo.
Well, I'm expensive, I
know.
He's a striker. He comes in, scores the goal, leaves.
He's off.
Finisher.
Yeah, exactly. Alan, thanks so much for coming in. Really good to talk to you. Congratulations to Arsenal. Let's take a look at the table again, because Arsenal then 4 points clear of Manchester City. It is an insurmountable gap now on the last day of the season. And when that last day of the season comes, Manchester City are going to be at home to Aston Villa. But will that be Pep Guardiola's farewell? The Manchester City boss is with David Craig.
Pep, you said it would be a tough night coming here. What are your reflections on that 90-plus minutes this evening?
Yeah, a tough game. We knew it. We miss a little bit of energy. That is normal. They have 12 days to prepare that game as a team. They play this energy, and the players up front, they have this, energy that they had. But we have for 3 days with troubles, and we miss a lot. But we fought. First half was really good. We miss a little bit. Second, we started really good with the chance for Nico, the action for the offside for Merling that. We should review how quick the linesman did the job, like normally allowed to finish the action and see what happened. And after, substitution didn't make the impact that we needed, and they had chances, to be honest. And at the end, we found a goal, but too late, and.
You've been involved in an epic battle with Arsenal for the title. You've also been involved in the FA Cup as well. This was your third game in 6 days. How big a toll does it take to try and keep those performances at that level to win the title as well?
Yeah, of course it's happened. So we could play maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, have a little bit more days. But it's what it is. So I doubt about the fresh legs, but always have the energy when the team where it is. And you put a lot of midfield players to have control, to don't make transition game, like they are so really, really good. And after we missed a little bit the last moment, but the players gave everything, and absolutely all the season fighting for, in difficult circumstances until the end. And we were close to arrive at the last moment. And just, of course, on behalf of all Man City, my team, congratulate Arsenal, Mikel, staff, backroom staff, all the players, fans for this Premier League, and they deserve.
You paid those congratulations to Arsenal. You know Mikel very well. You know and remember, I'm sure, what it was like to win your first Premier League title. How special will it be for him, you knowing him as you do?
That's a question for him, but I'm pretty sure it will be special. Put a lot of effort, work, and I'm pretty sure. And congratulate him.
Pep, I hope you'll understand, before the game we said to you, out of absolute respect for you, your club and the team, that we wouldn't discuss what had gone on in the papers yesterday. But now the title is over. Everybody's had their share of the story. In reality, the only story that matters is yours and what words you have to say. Are you able to share what is the next chapter in your story in terms of your future with Manchester City with us?
I could say that I have 1 more year of contract, and with the conversations I had for many, many years, always, from my experience, when you announce, whatever you announce during the competition is a bad result. So, like you understand, the first person I have to talk is my chairman, and but because both we decide when finish the season, we will see it and we will talk. As simple as that, and after we will take the decision.
I appreciate that honesty there. So there is a decision to be made, even though at this moment you're suggesting you have...
Listen, I have 1 more year contract. It's different. I will not tell you here because I have to talk with my chairman, with my players, with my staff. Because when we play for the FA Cup, when we play before qualification of the Champions League, we play for the Premier League. It's just one thing in my mind and focus is try to bring the team in the highest point. That's all we have done.
And you've spoken many times lately about how this team has energised you and you're excited. Will those thoughts play a big part in those discussions with the chairman when they happen in the next few days? Is there a decision in your mind that there's still things to stay here for and fight for and win titles as you've done in the past?
I'm the happiest man in the planet to be in this club. This club is just extraordinary. So just the moment, of course, the season is over for us. So we won't arrive in the last game with our fans, but I know they will come. Because that's an intense season, really good in many, many moments, and that is what we have to do until the end.
Well, listen, we wish you well. We've all enjoyed you being here, and we look forward to seeing what that chapter is next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Spurs, but you can see at the top of your screen at last that little symbol of the Premier League trophy is alongside the name Arsenal. They have won the title with a game to spare. Who better to go back across and talk to than Graham Lasso, John Champion, and is he all right, Lee Dixon?
Do you need this? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm a bit emotional, I have to say.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, congratulations, given your Gooner connections, and it's been a long, long wait, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really pleased for him. We talked about the 3 years and the bottling it and all the press getting involved with putting the pressure on them, and that's what we do in the media. We pile pressure on people. Can you survive that? And to be fair to the club, they stuck by Arteta. To be fair to Arteta, he stuck by the process. He kept talking about it. He was getting some stick from the press, and he's kept going. And I think this season the squad has been so strong. They've had their dips. They're not playing the most fantastic football. They did at the start of the season. They dropped off. But it's about this league's really hard to win. Let's not forget that. And I think some people go, oh, they finished second. Finishing second in this league is very, very good. To win it, you've got to be special. And I think what he's created at the club with the spirit, I think, from what it was before he came, I think he's done a brilliant job, and he takes a lot of credit. They've built a squad now. I think also because they've gone, because you've won your first one, I think the handbrake will be off next season. He'll get money to spend, and then he's got this freedom now of having won the big one.
Yeah. Graham, your appreciation of the team we can now call champions.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And we were both standing here and say, you win the league, you totally deserve to do it. No matter how you do it, against the competition, and we see again tonight the quality of the league is fantastic. So all credit to that Arsenal team. And going 3 years in a row coming second, the pain and the pressure that you put on yourself, that was 4 years worth of work that they've achieved in winning their first title, this group. And I think it could be a changing of the guard in terms of Jurgen Klopp has gone. Pep Guardiola is possibly going. I think there's an opportunity, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but there's an opportunity for Arsenal with how they've spent their money, how they've built this incredible momentum over time to really enjoy next season, but deliver again. There's a real opportunity for them to, I think, dominate football for a period of time.
There's another D word we could use, which is dynasty, of course. Yeah. Is this potentially the start of an Arsenal dynasty?
4 years ago, there was a disconnect from the fans to the players. They didn't like each other. They didn't like the team. The team were getting stick. And he's come and he's united that, and you see the atmosphere we had the other day at the game, yesterday at the game. It's infectious. Everyone's behind the team now, and I think it could be a possibility that they go on a run now and challenge and win more and more trophies. They could win the Champions League and win the best season they've ever had. So we're only one game away from that.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And well done for
It's all my doing.
Yeah, well done for holding it together. And as you know, Rebecca, there's one thing we do well in this country, which is state occasions. So everyone's invited to Sunday's coronation at the Palace.
Yeah, lovely. Absolutely. Thank you.